So that's where I'm on my way to. It's 8 in the morning, but I go earlier so that I can chat with you chaps. Chaps. Anyhow, woo-wee, I tell you. But it's expected. Everything that's going on is expected. And I'll tell you, a lot of stuff that's being said and has been said for a long time that has nothing to do with God, period. And that's kind of harsh for me to say that, but I have to say it because it's true. They actually pushed this car out from that parking lot. That trailer burnt up. Police are still there, hooking it up. But anyway, it's early. I am on my way. It's not too busy today. A little chilly. Not too chilly, just a little bit chilly. I don't even know how cold it is, to say the truth. But I know it's cold when you exhale and you can see the steam from your lungs. But anyway, it's early in the morning. This is how it looks at 8 o'clock in the morning. You guys usually see me walking this route noon or whatever. It's supposed to rain tonight, which is understandable. I've got a lot of things going on, heavily, if you will, but it's cool. So anyway, good morning to all who are joining in. This is the Yakima outskirts, and I'm on my way to work. I kind of used to feel bad years ago when I would walk, because I see everybody have cars, new cars, nice cars, comfortable cars. And I kind of felt bad. I was like, why don't I have a car? And then I got cars. Lots of cars. Well, for me, it was lots. It was probably 3 or 4, but it was lots for me. And now I don't have a car. And I don't mind walking. I really don't. I enjoy it. And it's so hilarious how life is, because when I did have a car in my earlier ages, say 21 to 25, 26, I walked everywhere. I lived in Tacoma, and I walked everywhere. I mean, everywhere I walked. Even here, people always told me, they said, hey man, why do you walk so much? Everywhere you go, you walk and walk and walk. I said, well, when I first learned to walk, everybody was excited about it, so I thought I'd keep the trend going. And of course, they would laugh. Anyhow, so here I am, walking down. I'm going to catch the bus like I always do on that one corner. I usually catch the bus over here, but like I said, I like walking. Anyhow, I'm going back to this now. So, and I'll tell you, I could get freaked out a little bit about what's going on. I could be upset about what's going on. I'm talking about the entire world, folks. I'm not just talking about my local area. Because a lot's going on in my local area, too. But I'm talking worldwide. And I'll tell you something. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what tyrants are in control. It doesn't matter what craziness is going on. And don't get me wrong. I never want to see children get hurt. So I'm not trying to dispel what's going on in Gaza. That's not what I'm doing. Because a lot of folks would say, well, if there is a loving God, how come children have to die? Well, I'll tell you what, and this does not, I do not say this to intend to be callous or mean or any of that. Okay? Again, I have to give this disclaimer. I'm not trying to get anyone to believe in God. I'm not trying to get anyone to believe in the Bible. I'm not trying to get a bunch of subscribers. I'm not trying to get YouTube or influencer or any of that junk. I don't want it. And that's the truth. I'm just sharing. That's it, period. You want to listen? Cool. You don't? Cool. Whatever. Anyhow, going back to this now. But I don't say that death is a part of life. I don't say that. Because nobody wants to die when they're alive, if they're really alive. Like when I was at work yesterday, this old guy came in and he's getting a money card. And he says, you know, you're pretty cheerful. I said, yeah, well, I'm a lover of life. I love life. I wake up in the morning and I go, yes, I made it. He said, well, I'm not. I'm not a big fan of life at all. Just call me the Grinch. And I was like, okay, cool. That's your right if you want to say that you not a big fan of life, which is understandable, you know. And he was probably pushing 70, maybe a little over. And I'm thinking to myself, don't worry, man. Death is at everyone's door. So if you're not a big fan of life, it's coming soon. Anyhow. And I've heard many people talk like that, but it's just the circumstances. Like this one guy that comes in all the time. This guy's just either up or down. He's never middle. But one day he told me, I just want to die. And all I said was, cool. And that was it. I didn't say no more. And he came up to me and he said, wow. I said, what? He said, thanks for not. I said, well, I don't do that. For one, I don't know you personally, so how can I console someone I don't know? Anyhow, we all face death, period. Every single day. I could be walking right now. Some psycho could be mad at his girlfriend, you know? Maybe her new boyfriend has a jacket like mine. He's out looking for him. He sees me and bam, I'm dead. He shoots me. So there's all kinds of stuff that can happen. There's something worse than that. I believe this 100%. There's a fate worse than death. And that is not truly living life. Because if you're not truly living life, then you're already dead without being dead. And that's the worst kind of death. So I know the ills of this world. But see, the hope I have, you know, the stories that are contained within the Bible. And like I said, you don't have to believe in the Bible. I'm just sharing. You can listen if you like. You don't have to believe in God. I'm just sharing. You could not sharing, but sharing. You can listen. Look at this. Look at this. This is supposed to help people. And look, gates up, fence up, and you got people sitting around outside. Crazy, right? I mean, really crazy. Fence up. Look at this, like a fortified city. And they're supposed to be helping people. But if you go behind that building, you'll see they all have fancy cars, and that's the real people they're helping themselves at the expense of the poor. Anyhow, going back to this now. Okay, so when you live life, and I'll tell you a story. I'll give you a story. When Israel, which I really like this story, when Israel was under siege. So they were surrounded by their enemies. The whole city, the whole Jerusalem was surrounded by their enemies. And from what the person that witnessed it said, that it was like grasshoppers all around the city. That many people were around the city. And one gentleman was freaked out. One gentleman was upset, which is understandable. Just like situations in your life, you could actually feel surrounded. You could actually feel defeated. You could actually feel broken. Okay, anybody would. Like I was sharing with you about this girl that I really, really care about. I mean, I'm not kidding. You know. Anyhow, let me go back to this. I look like Johnny, the guy I used to know. Anyhow, I could really, really feel that way. So as the man is expressing himself and saying, wow, basically he's saying we're done for. The prophet came up and told God, open his eyes. And he told the dude, he said, there is more with us than there is with them. And I can't remember which book it's in. I think it's Kings or Chronicles, one of those two. And he opened his eyes and he looked beyond the army, and it said it was a host of angels surrounding that whole place. Now, I'm not trying to get you to believe in angels, because I know this for a fact. There's no such thing as guardian angels. That's a man-made idea. Okay? Period. You know what I mean? Because if you look at it, that seems like another translation for babysitter. And anybody that's a full-grown person isn't a baby. And so here, no such thing as that. Okay? I'll say it like this. The one who protects us is God. Period. Period. It's hard to fathom that sometimes because of things we go through, because of what we face, whether it be a death in the family, a broken relationship, you know, no finances to live a comfortable life. You know, I'll share this with you guys. Okay, I always thought I was this hip, cool dude. And people tell me, oh, you're a pretty cool dude. Okay, fine, I'm a cool dude. But at this time that I was always in trouble, getting in jail a lot. I'm talking a lot. Jail was like my second home. And I didn't care. That's the weirdest part. I didn't care. I mean, I cared, but I didn't have the capacity or maturity to realize, well, wait a minute, dude. Quit getting in trouble and you won't go to jail. But I didn't. It might seem, oh, no. But I didn't. I really, really, really didn't. Okay, now watch this. So at this time, I had a good job. I was making good money. I was actually making the job better than what they gave me. And that's the truth. Because it was a place called Western RV where they would build recreational vehicles. And they had me cutting the insulation, which was foam. And you had two kinds of insulation. You had the, cheap insulation for the cheaper trailers. Then you had the really good insulation for the really good trailers. Or our recreational vehicles, RVs. So I'm there. And I'm doing good. I'm not kidding you. I'm doing so good. I am 3 days ahead of the crew. So it was an assembly line. You had the people that were welding the frames together, the pieces for the frames, the skeleton, if you will. You had the people cutting out the wall units for it. Then you had guys like me. Oh, gee, I might have to catch the bus early. You had guys like me that cut the foam. You see? Cut the foam. Dang, I might have came too early, guys. Okay, I guess I'll go early. I want to finish that darn thing anyway. Not to be there till 9:30, so I'm good. Anyway, I'll just catch it right now. I'll talk to you guys while I'm on the bus because I've done it before. Probably nobody on the bus anyway. Anyhow, so I am 3 days, and the dude was tripping. The dude was like, "How the hell are you doing this?" I was like, "Well, you told me to." Hey, how's it going, man? Good. I don't need a transfer. Thank you. Okay. So, let's see who says hi. Yo hablo español. Poquito. Yo hablo español poquito. Well, hello there, Victoria. And hello, Victoria. And hello, somebody from Mexico. Let me see the name. The name is Gamaliel Vasquez. Hello, Gamaliel. Hola, Gamaliel Vasquez. Yo hablan español poquito. No hablan mucho. Okay, anyway. So what happened is he's touring me around. He's touring me around the facility because I'm 3 days ahead, so I really don't have to do much work. And that's when I learned right there. If you do your job fast and do it well, you can be ahead of everyone else. Anyway, so I get off work, I catch the bus just like this, and honestly, this goofy guy gets on. And when I say goofy, I mean like goofy. His face was just goofy looking. And he had on, honestly, I remember a brown shirt, a pink vest, white pants, and just really weird shoes. His hair was like he was in bedhead. He had a booger hanging out his nose. He gets on the bus. He gets on the bus, and he gets on the bus, and he sits down, and I'm watching him. And of course, part of me thought, poor guy. He don't even know what's up. He looks all goofy. And these girls, teenage girls, start making fun of him and laughing at him. Literally. And he turns to them and he starts laughing with them. And he had such a calm on his face. And me burdened with my job, burdened with child support, burdened with, not really burdened because you got to pay for your children, burdened with court fines, burdened with probation officers, burdened with the chance of going back to jail. And honestly, this used to be a church, by the way. Closed down now. Anyway, there's another one over here that used to be a church and it's closed down now. Anyway, I said to myself, if I could just be that guy for 5 minutes and have his peace, that would be wonderful. Okay, now let me go back to this with the story of the angels that are surrounding the city. You see, God gives us that peace. And I'll tell you something, not because we accept it, because it's always there. And I'll show you. Okay? So, when I used to counsel people in the jail system and in the prison system, they would tell me, I think God is paying me back. And honestly, I would laugh at them. Not laugh at them, but laugh at what they said. And some of them would get upset. What the hell are you doing laughing for? I told you, I believe God is paying me back. I said, come on, bro. Come on, man. Let me share something with you. If God truly was paying you back, it'd be way worse than this. Think about it. If God was truly paying us back for anything, and they would laugh, they'd say, you know, that's true. And I tell them, yeah. Because there is no amount, there is no any amount of payment that we could receive. Let me see if anybody else saying that. Nobody else. There is nothing that we could receive that would basically, and I thank you to my subscribers, all my subscribers that listen to this YouTube channel. Thank you. Good morning, you subscribers. I appreciate you very much. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for taking the time out of your life to listen to what I share. Oh, anyway. And they would laugh. And they would think about it, you know. And it was true. It was true because the peace is always there, folks. It's always there. One of the greatest sharings that Jesus did, which I love very much, is when he talked about the birds. And he said it, behold, the fowls. They don't sow. They don't reap. They don't gather in the barns. Now that has to do with financial stability, folks, believe it or not. Sow is basically planning, like the churches try to tell you to do. They're liars, by the way. When they talk about sow seed, they think it's money. But according to scripture, the sowing the seed is the word of God. Period. So, they sow the seed. They sow the seed. The birds don't sow the seed. They don't reap it, and that's wages. Now, I'm not saying don't work. I'm not saying don't save money. I'm not saying don't have money. That's not what I'm saying. But if you truly believe that having financial stability, that having wealth, that having a life to where you pay for anything without hesitation and you're good, that's of God, you're mistaken. I'm going to tell you that right now. Again, I'm not saying don't get rich. I'm not saying don't try to get rich. I'm not saying don't have money. Obviously, I'm going to work, so I'm earning a wage. But this is the example that Jesus gives us to show us. The birds don't reap. And then it says this, they don't gather in the barns, which has to do with savings. It has to do with savings. Okay? And he says, your heavenly Father feeds them. And it's so true. I bet you anything, if you have windows, when you get up and eat breakfast in the morning, thank you. When you get up and eat breakfast in the morning, you do not see any birds asking for a bite. Okay, sorry about that. It got knocked off a little bit. Forgive me for that. That happens sometimes. Anyway, here I am at work. This is where I work. And I got to use the lavatory, so I am going to head in here and use the lavatory. So I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for listening today. Have a good day. Bye-bye.